And I remember literally having to get in the mirror and say, okay, Dana, that's my real name.
Queen Latifah is arguably one of the most talented people of her generation. She is a recipient of a Grammy Award from 6 nominations, a Golden Globe Award, 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards from 5 nominations, 2 NAACP Image Awards from 13 nominations, 1 Primetime Emmy Award from 3 nominations, and an Academy Award nomination in 2021. She also received the BET Lifetime Achievement Award and was the first rapper female or male to be so awarded, and in 2023 she also became the first female rapper to be a Kennedy Center HAV. But while it may appear that she has everything figured out, her life has been far from perfect. These little messages, like clear as day, as if someone said it to me: Dana, don't throw it all away, you're going to get through this. I mean, I literally heard that very sentence come to me, and through a haze of alcohol, you know what? I mean, now that wasn't me saying it to me because I didn't feel that way, but I feel like that was God's way of saying don't throw it all the way, you're going to get through this, which I did, making change in your life, and it made me start to look at things a little different once. A better way to deal with these emotions and what I'm going through, well, make some music, and that's how you got the record, you. And if this is someone who has been through it all, a devastating childhood in poverty, essay. At the age of 5, being ridiculed because of her size, losing opportunities because of her skin color, depression, addiction, the loss of a brother and a mother, and so much more. She almost ended it all, but like the queen she is, she picked herself up, dusted herself off, put her crown back on, and soldiered on, even when you're not sure, when you feel you might fail, or you didn't get that job you interviewed for, or you just really had a bad day. We've all had those bad days. It's okay, take that feeling, own it. Get over it, get up, get yourself together, and remember how you feel right now, or you felt at times like this throughout your life, knowing you can accomplish anything. I mean, Queen Latifah deserves to be celebrated, and in this video we are going to be talking about what she had to go through to get to where she is today. Okay, for starters, Queen Latifah was not actually given the name Latifah at birth. Her parents named her Dana Owens in Newark, New Jersey in 1970, and she was born the second child of Lance and Rita Owens following the birth of her brother Lancelot Jr. the previous year. Her father was a police officer, and young Dana's early years were relatively peaceful until her parents split up when she was 8, after which her mother was left to raise her 2 children single-handedly. In an interview with the Virginia Pilot, Latifah largely blamed the dissolution of her parents' marriage on Vietnam, because, as was sadly common for Vietnam veterans, her dad, Lancelot Owens, struggled with mental health issues and substance misuse. Following his experiences in the war, she said he was a big, hard-nosed cop. Vietnam did a few things to his life. Eventually, he left the family. Latifah's childhood was actually pretty rough, and she described the difficulty she faced in her book, Put on Your Crown, as a result of being raised in poverty. She said, as a teenager growing up in a working-class neighborhood in Newark, I also made some moves I'm not proud of. Money was tight, and I experimented with stuff that could have taken me down into the gutter if I had continued with it. She also added that having a strong support network from her family sustained her through the worst periods of her life, but as much as she had great support when she was a child, young 5-year-old Dana was essayed by a teenage babysitter, and about this tragic incident that almost broke her, she told Essence, I never told anybody, I just buried it as deeply as I could and kept people at an arm's distance. I never really let a person get too close to me. I could have been married years ago, but I had a commitment issue. In addition, as a teenager, she briefly also dealt, and she admitted that she was paid $50 to hook up with a 40-year-old man when she was just 16. It was also around this time that Dana became named Latifah, a name she discovered in a book of Muslim names given to her by a relative, and it appealed to her because of its meaning, which loosely translated to delicate and kind. Then her title of queen came after she had started rapping as a teenager. Now, I know that most people probably know Queen Latifah as an actor, but let's not forget that she was actually a pretty iconic rapper. In fact, at just 19, Queen Latifah was arguably the most radical of all, with lyrics that explicitly focused on the experiences of Black women in a space that had been dominated by misogyny until that point, and with songs like her first hit single, Ladies First, she swiftly made a name for herself as one of the most thoughtful and important lyricists of her generation. Well, it wasn't that easy, because when Latifah started out in the music industry, she feared she would not make it in the creative industries too. To the size of her body, she said this about beauty standards that had already been said in the industry, quote, "I watched this idea of what beauty was supposed to be size 2 blue-eyed that was being pushed on everyone as I was growing up. I thought that was a bar I was never going to meet. Can I move into Hollywood in a way I would like to and accomplish what I would like to in this business being me? It was about finding people who understood that was the vision," end quote. She also talked about how she encountered struggles, adding, "Of course, when there was pushback, people are stuck in their mindsets. It's not just actors, it's producers, people at studios, people who've gone through their own weight loss journeys, who've heard different messages within their own homes, so they're putting that out to other people and they're creating the media and the imagery we see regardless of the insecurities with her size." After releasing a second highly successful album, Latifah soon began to look beyond music to acting, and she was actually amazing for you all who recall. She had a cameo in Lee's Jungle Fever in 1992 and made numerous appearances on popular shows such as The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Hanging with Mr. Cooper before landing a starring role in the long-running hit Fox sitcom Living Single. Since then, she has been nothing but amazing and has actually bagged a couple of awards for her acting. Well, she also told Entertainment Tonight that she had been judged for her body, causing her to frequently think about her weight. In fact, when Latifah embarked on her acting career, she was told to lose weight for roles due to Hollywood's arguably unrealistic body standards, and she said, "I can remember specifically doing Living Single, and the word came down that we needed to lose weight. If anything, it angered me and disheartened me, but it really angered me. I said, we are what women look like. We're not going to lose weight for whoever's idea of what we're supposed to look like. First of all, bottom line, a woman's body is a woman's body. This is my body. You don't know what goes on inside of it. You can't tell me what to do with it. Take your hands off of my body, please." Again, it's not like it's been a smooth ride for Queen Latifah, but child, these are not the only things that almost ruined her entire life. In 1992, her dear brother Lancelot Jr. died in a motorbike accident, and this broke her especially because the bike he was riding had been a recent gift from her. "A woman you break, you now it's you relate." Queen Latifah herself said that the impact on her life was severe to the extent that she was diagnosed with clinical depression and developed substance issues that would plague her for many years. She also took to wearing the ignition key of Lancelot's bike around her neck, and it is clearly visible throughout her performances on Living Single and My Brother. "That was a devastating time for me. We had just bought a house because I was missing my family from being on the road so much, and my brother and my mother and myself were going to live in it. We bought this big, ridiculous jacuzzi, and he sat in the jacuzzi fully dressed. And it was like, yo, this is going to be fun." According to what Latifah said, she was supposed to be with her brother that day on the motorcycle, but one of their friends had to move, so they were moving all day. But after her brother passed away, she said that it ruined her world. It rocked her to her core, and she has never been the same since. But she decided to put her energy into crafting her 1993 album Black Rain, a record she dedicated to her brother that has gone down in hip-hop history as her most successful release. Well, this wasn't the only incident that took Latifah to her core. By the way, in 1995, Latifah and her then boyfriend Sean Moon were driving through Harlem when they were stopped by robbers. Although the pair swiftly gave up their vehicle and offered no resistance, the carjackers shot in the stomach. He survived, but the incident shook Latifah up, and she started carrying a firearm in her vehicle for protection. Unfortunately, this led to her being arrested a year later in LA and charged with possession of a loaded firearm, and that was just the first of her arrests, because in 2002 Latifah was arrested again for driving under the influence in Los Angeles County, and she was placed on 3 years probation after being convicted. Queen Latifah was also very close to her mom Rita, but when Rita became ill with heart failure and scleroderma, a rare autoimmune disease, Latifah took on caregiver duties. Initially, she was scared when her mom received the latter diagnosis, and while speaking with people, Latifah opened up about the difficulties of being a caregiver, but also praised her mom's resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity, saying, "I watched in this sense of humor and love and drive." And she said that her role was just like being a parent, like some things really don't matter, and that all the kind of frivolous things sort of fall to the side because there's something way more important than all that, unfortunately. After 14 years of ill health, Queen Latifah's mother also died in 2018. Then in 2021, Queen Latifah was faced with yet another horrific tragedy when her beloved dog was apparently found mauled to death. Another thing is that her sexuality has always come into question through her on-screen performances. For instance, in one of her films 1996, is Set It Off, she takes on a more masculine role, and Latifah's character can be described as a lesbian bank robber, which highlighted her sexuality. She was so successful while playing this masculine role that rumors about her sexuality started spreading well in the early stages of her career. Latifah chose not to address the rumors regarding her sexuality, letting the public categorize her in their own way. But this is something controversial that people still talk about today, and also affected how people viewed her. Well, other than all these, this is also someone who has opened up a few times about how she has experienced sexism and discrimination because of the color of her skin throughout her career. But like I said, Queen Latifah has always adjusted her crown and fought on to be the person she is today. So yeah, she may look like she has it all figured out, but Queen Latifah has been through the most. But what about her experience shocks you the most? How do you think her story has helped shape the industry? I would love to know your thoughts, so drop them in the comment section down below.